Right, so thank you very, very much for coming to list/watch. This is not going to be on the screen, so it's going to be more of a listen/just watch how my mouse moves. I will tell you when I'm going to click on something for obvious reasons, but the reason for this video is basically just to go along with our walkthrough that we've sent out to you today, show you a bit more of the LinkedIn interface, show you a bit more about how LinkedIn has changed over the last couple of weeks, and give you a bit of more insight into Sales Navigator and how we're going to be using that moving forward, and how we think it's very, very important for each and every client of Avalanche's. And even if you're not a client watching this and you're just listening to it because we've sent you the link, then this is going to give you a really good insight into Sales Navigator and how it's going to work. So I'm going to show you firstly a bit about the new LinkedIn. As you can see, it's it's changed a lot since it changed interfaces a few weeks ago. LinkedIn did say that it was going to be the 31st of March when it was all rolled out, but that didn't happen, so we were thrown with it. So most people now have changed over to this interface, so as you can see, everything has changed compared to the old one. Again, it looks a little bit better in terms of its visual. Ads are still on the right hand side. This is still over here with the how many views you've had, which actually I think was down here previously. And then this just looks a bit more visual. So that's just the basicness. So one of the biggest changes for us is that when you click on My Network here, it takes you to something completely different to what it used to. When you used to click on My Network, you used to be able to just go straight to your connection list. You'd be able to see your recent connections, and you'd be able to tag people, and you'd be able to message them from there. With this, it's got rid of the tagging feature, which is a very incredibly important part of the system on LinkedIn, which is frustrating, and one of the things that Sales Navigator is going to help you with. But you can also see that it's got rid of some of the see who's viewed your profile features. We can over here see, look, I can click on my 3,904 connections and it will take me through to people that I've recently added, but that's it. There's no tagging here. This is just a list of people that have come through, and how we've been doing it over the last few weeks before we realized and really got into Sales Navigator. We were working alongside here. We'd have another window open with all your messages on, another window open with people on, and be cross-referencing it constantly, looking at do not contact lists up here, and it got crazy messy, and it was not practical. So we had to change. We had to figure out something and realize, what is it that we can do to make LinkedIn better for people. Again, just a quick view of the profile. I can see here that I've had 1,000 views on my last post that I did, 399 people viewed over the last few weeks, and then it's just changed a little bit more. So the real benefits for this, in my opinion, are that it's a lot more visual. So it's a lot more visually pleasing, i.e. the people can. It looks better, it looks more modern, it looks more user friendly. The difficulty is we've got used to the last interface, and it's got to the point now where it's completely changed for us. So frustrating, but we'll get through it. Perfect. Right. So let's jump over to Sales Navigator then for the real main part of this video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how you use Sales Navigator and how we're going to be using Sales Navigator from now on. Then I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about what I need you guys to do, what we need you guys to do, and then also how we're going to work alongside your other campaigns or other campaigns that you're running, or yourself on LinkedIn, and make sure that there is absolutely no mistakes happening, because this Sales Navigator should help the campaign become absolutely bulletproof. Right then, so LinkedIn, again, it kind of gives you a completely different interface. So this is the normal LinkedIn. This is for the normal people. Then we've got Sales Navigator. So it's a completely different interface. It's a completely different separate web application to the normal LinkedIn.com. It's even got its own newsfeed, which is interesting. And this is a lot more company-based. So you can pretty much run the whole campaign from Sales Navigator. And we will probably spend pretty much most of our campaign on Sales Navigator. So when we first go into Sales Navigator, it's really important to check your leads here. Now, different to LinkedIn's old sort of interface, where it would just literally tell you your connection list, we can now save people as a lead. And the real benefit that we can see from Sales Navigator is that we can save people as a lead no matter even if they haven't connected to us, if they are still pending, or they have come back to us, and then you can tag them even if they haven't yet connected back to us. So I can add people, or us and the team at Avalanche can add a lot of people on your lead list to save them as a lead via the lead builder up here. literally show you quickly how to make a lead. So let me just say my target market is managing directors in, let's just say, Oxford. I can go into postcodes via this actually. I'm going to stick to just Oxford because it's easier. And then I can go, for example, let's just say my 51 to 200 company size. Okay, then search that, and a list will come up. So along here, I can see that these guys are going to be my target market because I know that they're second. Let's go to second connections. They're in Oxford. They're a 51 to 200. They are a managing director in that business, and that's kind of our target market. So we will be able to save these people as a lead. It's going to send us a box. They haven't got a company set up to their thing, and then I can also connect. Okay, send invitation. I'll do the same with these a few of these people for you. Save them as these. So I'll look on here for which company is most beneficial to me. Save that one, 51 to 200 employees, and connect to them. Connect to them. Now I'm doing this usually. I actually know Mark, so that's not a problem. But we usually would make that message a little bit more personal, so that's not an issue. Mark Evans works at Adapt. He's in Oxford. He's worked with us for a long period of time, so that's not an issue. Definitely to just send him a random connection request. But someone like Steve Clark here, I have absolutely no idea who he is, so I would save him as a lead initially at Helios Information, then connect with some sort of message here that would say, "Hi, Steve," and talk about how we could potentially have contact. I won't do that right now. But that's kind of how the initial connection request in Sales Navigator would work. You can't just run along here and just connect to people. It doesn't work like that. So it's a lot more targeted in that sense. So if I go back now to my leads, I'll be able to see that the last couple of people that I added into that were saved. So I can see here that, Steve Clark did get saved. Fantastic. So I can see here that these people haven't currently accepted my connection requests, which is interesting. So that has happened just now. So they're obviously not going to connect that fast. But what I can do right now is tag them even if before they come back. So if we're adding a lot of people, which we do regularly, you will know that we're probably adding 30 to 40 to 50 people per week using this product. Then you can connect and you can tag these people before they even come back to us. So whereas in the old LinkedIn you had to wait until they became a first connection, you could tag them straight away, and sometimes there was a little bit of overlap because we were very, very fast on that. We're very, very quick to connect, talk to people. And it sometimes created a bit of overlap for clients in terms of when they will message when the person came back. So what this does is completely gets rid of that. You can run down this list and tag people as, let's suggest here, as do not contact just there, and these people will then be tagged as do not contact before they've even come back to us. So when they do come back to us, they will already have the do not contact list there. They'll be in our do not contact tag, and we will make sure that at that point do not contact them. They will be fully in there, and it means that there is going to be absolutely no overlap, or there should be no overlap with do not contact lists talk to on LinkedIn. Okay, right, so that's that. You can pretty much tag them again, anything you want, any people that you want here. I just have to select there and tag them as whatever I want to do. I can, for example, follow up or influencer, for example. He's then tagged as follow-up, something like that. Another really good benefit, in our opinion, to Sales Navigator, and one that's going to really, really put on Avalanche for the KPIs in terms of where people are, is this here. So what this is here is this is going to give you a full breakdown of what each section of your lead list is made up of. So it's going to tell you what the geography is. So I can see here that I've got 12 people in Oxford, 1 in Blackpool. 12 people. Oxford is my target market. Pretty much all of my leads in this list here are target market. It gives me the relationships. It gives me the company they're in. The really, really important one for me is this company size one here. I can see that most of my connections that are in my lead list that I've added as contacts are in the 11 to 50 range. So then 51 to 200, 201 to 500, and the 1 to 10. So that's again really, really important. For you to be able to see exactly what the makeup is of your lead base. Again, here we can see that the staffing and recruiting industry has got 2 people in it: medical devices, food production, management consultancy. Oxford's a lot of medical devices and management consultancies. Less recruitment, so I don't know why I got 2 of them in there, but it gives you a bit more. It gives a bit more accountability in terms of in terms of where people are, what the size of the company is, because as we can previously know that using LinkedIn's old interface, there was a few issues with people lying on there, so people would exaggerate the amount of employees they have. Thankfully on this, you can choose the right company. You can check if they're the company, say for example, if Steve Clark here had Driftway Solutions there, when we press save as lead, it would come up with the 4 companies that he worked in previously, not previously, sorry, 4 companies that he currently has representation in. And Driftway Solutions may be one of them, but it may be that that's just the one-man band holding company that he's working with and he's not going to be target market. Or we might see that Driftway Solutions is actually 51 to 200, so we might add that. But if it turns out that he was just a one-man band and he's just got a couple of companies that he's linked with, and we add him and he becomes a lead, he's not in our target market. Whereas Driftway Solutions at 51 to 200, 100% is. So it gives us a little bit more sort of a breakdown so we can actually see really into their career and their business a little bit and just see what's happening and whether or not they're going to become actually a target market. Because the aim of the game with LinkedIn, guys, is just to reiterate this, is that social media is a busy world. We all know that social media is a busy world, and people are getting more and more confident, and people are getting more and more talkative in terms of being on digital. And it's one of those things that has to be nurtured over a period of time. It cannot be a database kind of marketing strategy where you're in, you smash through the database, you get out. It doesn't work like that. LinkedIn is something that has to be nurtured. Social media is something that has to be nurtured because it's going to be here a long time. It's going to be here a lot longer than your database probably, and it's going to be here a long time. You need to preserve that your notoriety and your brand equity online, and build your brand equity via the blogging, the activity, the talking to people in a nurturing manner, because it's going to be here a while, and hopefully you're going to be here a while too in terms of business. So, you need to be consistently building a solid brand equity image online. And if people continue to use LinkedIn and dodge in, dodge out in terms of using it as a database marketing tool, it is not going to work for you. It isn't going to work for you. We've tried it, been there, we've done it, it doesn't work. The strategies that we know work is creating conversations with people that may not go some of them may not go anywhere initially, right? But you will, however, be consistently talking to people that you should be working with, that should be working with you, and consistently having people read the documents that we send out for you, consistently have people that are requesting the PDFs, the videos, the invitations, the documents that we ask their permission to do so. Okay, so we're doing it in a way that means that if they do say no, they can be put back in the pipeline, and at one point down the line they may be big enough to use your services, or they may be big enough to spend that £50,000 on that contract with you, something like that. Okay, so we want to use LinkedIn, and we're going to continue to use LinkedIn to build what we're going to call now leads. This is not going to be a genuine lead. Someone we press as lead is not a lead but prospect. We're going to be building a continuous amount of prospects for you that are going to want to have a conversation with you, and if they don't, that's fine. They're going to continue to see our content. You can look over here and see this, right? I get 1,000 views on something I just shared, right? So you can see that my network here, I've got 3,934 connections. So we continue to build. You're going to start getting a huge amount of people that are actually seeing your product and your stuff that we're sharing. All the messages and all the stuff is great, but if they're just seeing all this stuff consistently and they're seeing a huge amount of value coming from you, that's going to do great stuff to your image. And it means that if we do follow up down the line, they're going to be more intuitive and want to talk to you more. So really important stuff. So that's kind of the tagging stuff, okay? That's Sales Navigator, that's tagging. Guys, we're going to be adding a lot, okay? And it's really important that we try to make sure that, one, tags happen here, because again, we're adding too many people, so not too many people, sorry, we're adding a large amount of people, and if tags don't happen and doing a contact list don't happen, it is inevitable that some point in time or some time people are going to be contacted that shouldn't be contacted. Now, we want to make sure that does not happen, and we want to make sure that it cannot happen, which is why we're going to be using this tagging tool within Sales Navigator, and we really advise that everyone gets onto Sales Navigator. And also, down here, company size, we can also see now company sizes and what every single person in the list is, where they are, what kind of company they're from, what kind of industries they're from, and we can go from there. So guys, really thank you very much for watching this slightly, it's going to be it's a short one. I can go into this a lot heavier, and I want all of you guys to come back to us with questions if you have any. We will be sending out a walkthrough with this video, but we also will be sending out a email on Monday morning that suggests to you the steps to take with Sales Navigator and how you can log into that and how you can upgrade to that. If you're a user of Business Plus and you're a monthly payer or an annual payer, there's a different ways you need to go about it in terms of contacting LinkedIn. We can do that for you, so we may just need your permission to do that. If you want to reply to this current email and say we give you your permission, then we'll sort it out for you. And we'll go from there, guys. Look, really, really, really positive stuff from this new LinkedIn. It seemed negative in the beginning, but we have got it, and I think that we've really nailed this new system. We've really figured out how to make it work for us. I'm really excited to start using Lead Builder and how it's going to really sort of put our searching on steroids and really enable us to get through to the right and great people so that we can continue to work with great clients and get them in touch with great people and create some great business for you guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for more stuff as we carry on.